Building a jet before the jet engine. Caproni Campini N1. How do you build a jet when the world hasn't even invented jet engines yet? That's the crazy question Italian engineers tried to answer in the 1930s. At a time when propellers ruled the sky, Italy shocked the aviation world by testing a strange new aircraft that didn't follow the rules, the Caproni Campini N1. It didn't look like much. It wasn't fast, but it was something no one else dared to try. This jet-like aircraft made noise, blew smoke, and grabbed headlines long before countries like Germany or Britain showed off their jet tech. Was it a real jet? Not quite, but it came too close to ignore. Why did Italy take this huge risk? What was hiding behind that roaring engine? Let's uncover the story of the strange machine that almost made jet history. Visionary roots, Italy's early jet dream. Italy in the 1930s was a hub of aviation innovation, and engineer Secondo Campini had one mission: to build an aircraft powered not by spinning propellers but by air and heat. His concept wasn't a turbojet, but a motorjet, a radical idea involving an engine-driven compressor and fuel ignition that pushed compressed air through a nozzle. Campini pitched the idea as early as 1931 and found a willing partner in Giovanni Battista Caproni, a pioneer of Italian aviation. By 1934, Campini had publicly demonstrated the concept with a test rig, and by 1939, the Italian government was ready to back a full-scale prototype. What followed was an extraordinary collaboration between state ambition and engineering genius. With the world heading toward war, Italy saw this as a chance to showcase its technological edge. Design and construction, a jet without a jet engine. The N1 looked futuristic with its long, sleek fuselage and lack of a conventional propeller, but beneath its shell, the technology was primitive by modern standards. At its heart was a piston engine that drove a multi-stage compressor. This compressed air was then mixed with fuel and ignited, producing a thrust-producing jet of hot air. This wasn't true jet propulsion, but it was close. The motorjet concept allowed engineers to test aerodynamic principles of high-speed flight. The aircraft was built mostly of metal, with a cockpit that looked more like something from a bomber than a fighter. It had tricycle landing gear and a top-mounted air intake, features that hinted at future jet design. The build process was slow and painstaking. There were no manuals for this. Every inch of the N1 was designed from scratch, blending known piston tech with experimental airflow science. First flights and historic achievement. On August 27, 1940, something incredible happened in the skies above Milan. The Caproni Campini N1 took off for the very first time, with test pilot Mario Di Bernardi at the controls. It wasn't just another test flight. This was history in motion. In just 10 minutes, the strange, smoke-blasting aircraft secured its place as the second jet-powered aircraft ever to fly, right behind Germany's Heinkel He 178. Sure, the N1 wasn't fast. In fact, it flew slower than many propeller aircraft of the time, but speed wasn't the point, proof was. The flight showed the world that jet-like propulsion wasn't just a theory anymore, it worked. Italy had successfully launched a jet-powered machine a full year before Britain's first official jet took to the skies. That's not just impressive, that's game-changing for aviation history. Back home, the reaction was huge. Newsreels flashed images of the futuristic-looking plane rolling down the runway, trailing smoke like a rocket. Headlines praised the success as a major leap for Italian science. In a world torn by war and uncertainty, Italy had claimed a bold technological first. The Caproni Campini N1 became more than a test aircraft. It became a symbol of national pride and bold ambition. Technical limitations and performance issues. But the Caproni Campini N1 had major flaws. It was underpowered, with a top speed of just over 225 mph, 362 km/h. The motorjet system generated a lot of heat and barely enough thrust to maintain efficient flight. Fuel consumption was also a massive problem. The aircraft burned fuel at an astonishing rate, limiting its range and making it impractical for wartime service. Cooling was another concern. The jet exhaust ran so hot that it stressed the metal skin of the aircraft. Its performance compared poorly even with piston engine fighters of the time like the Spitfire or Bf-199. It was revolutionary but not ready for the battlefield. Influence on future jet development. The Caproni Campini N1 may not have been perfect, but its impact was real. It proved to the world that jet propulsion wasn't just an idea, it could actually fly. While Campini's Motorjet system was soon replaced by more powerful turbojets, his bold step forward opened doors that had never been walked through before. It was a start, and every great leap begins with a first try. Other nations were watching. Italy had shown that jet-powered flight wasn't limited to science fiction or secret labs. Engineers in Britain, Germany, and America took notes. The lessons learned from the Campini project about heat, airflow, fuel usage, and design quietly shaped how other countries approached their own jet engine development. Even mistakes taught valuable things. Thanks to the N1, Italy earned its place in the early story of jet aviation. Campini's name became part of that pioneering era, standing beside other visionaries who reshaped how humans move through the sky. It wasn't the fastest or the strongest plane, but it sparked something much bigger, the push toward a whole new age of flight, legacy, and historical recognition. Only 2 Caproni Campini N1 aircraft were ever built, and today, one still survives. You can find it proudly displayed at the Italian Air Force Museum just outside Rome. It doesn't look like a typical fighter, and that's the point. This jet stands as a bold reminder of a time when engineers dared to chase the future even if the technology wasn't quite ready yet. Most experts now agree that the N1 wasn't a failure, it was a stepping stone. It wasn't created for battle or speed records, it was a flying laboratory meant to test the limits of what was possible. Its unusual design, roaring engine, and groundbreaking concept helped pave the way for the jets that would eventually dominate the skies. Without bold steps like this, progress might have come much slower. In an era when jet engines were still just ideas on paper, Italy made one fly. That alone makes the Caproni Campini N1 unforgettable. It may not have been perfect, but it proved one thing with certainty. Vision and courage can lift even the strangest machine into the sky, and that makes it a true milestone in aviation history. The Caproni Campini N1 wasn't the fastest, strongest, or most advanced plane of its time, but it was something far more rare and brave. In a world full of propellers and piston engines, it dared to try something completely different. It looked ahead while everyone else was still looking sideways. This aircraft wasn't built for war, it was built for vision. Its story is a reminder that progress doesn't always come with perfection. Sometimes it comes from experiments, mistakes, and bold steps into the unknown. The Campini N1 may not have ruled the skies, but it changed the way we dreamed about flight. So here's the question. Was it a bold leap forward, or just a forgotten dead end in aviation history? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if this story got you hooked on the hidden gems of flight history, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. The sky is full of untold stories.